And welcome back to the Commanders Replacement Squad series, where we're going to start talking about some of the prospects for this upcoming draft. I've already gone through and selected all potential players I'm interested in. As a reminder, one of the penalties from the beginning of this series, when the Commanders got canceled, was that we have to get rid of our first round pick. The Commanders do not have a second and third round pick, at least last time I checked, and last time, well, when this series started, they didn't. So I don't have those picks. So we only have, I think, a couple fours, a 5 and a 7, or maybe a couple fours, a 6 and a 7, something along those lines. So we're not picking until basically day 3 of this draft. That means we're limited on who we can because we're not going to be allowed to trade up. We could trade down, but we can't trade up. So let's start off with the quarterback spot, as there's really only one guy I want to talk about, and that's Cam Rollins, and he could be gone before we even end up going. So Rollins is a strong arm pocket quarterback. He doesn't have a lot of agility, but you could kind of tell that because the fact he's 6'4", 232. Madden doesn't produce a lot of Josh Allens or Daniel Jones that are big body guys that can run. So you could always tell with the size, but you could tell even more when you go over to his physicals. I mean, there's nothing athletic here, just strength and a cannon of an arm with great to elite throw power. His accuracies show signs of being possibly decent. We know deep accuracy is a B. That's what's the lowest with most of our quarterbacks, so that's solid. B to D, medium accuracy, and A to C, short. If those are all on the high end, he looks solid. But he could be gone before we get to pick. And do we want to go quarterback with our first draft pick? Maybe not. Because as another reminder, when we get to the offseason, we'll have the ability to sign free agents up to a 70 overall. Now, we're not going to be able to just bring in a whole new team. There most likely will be some penalties handed down by Roger Goodell. As for the other quarterbacks on this list, I just try to find guys who had at least a couple accuracy ratings that were a B or higher. Ben Adams is on the list, but probably will drop off by the end of the season. Running backs, no one of particular note. All of them, all 7 of them, basically the same build and the same style. They're all power backs. I think one of them has some decent speed, but they all just have about A to B for the top ratings, really. When it comes to ball carrier vision, break, tackle, and carrying, all are A to B. And then they have a variety of moves, whether it's going to be trucking, stiff arm, or a spin. None of them really have much of a juke. The receivers aren't too impressive. I have 2 on here just because they have the possibility of either having good release or at least average release. Tim Chambers, we do know, has the B release. Jonathan Brown could have up to an A. Their route running needs work. Their catching needs work. Now, tight end is a spot on offense that I think we could potentially improve at because we have 3 tight ends on roster, being Muse, Kalinick, and Smart, and they all play 3 facets of a tight end game, with none of them playing all of them. So that's something I think these 4 tight ends could do. They all have a blend of catching, route running, and run blocking. Plus, they all have really good size, strength, and speed. So it's a possibility we go tight end. I don't think we go with our first pick with like Larry Foster, but one of the later round guys, sure. As for the offense, I'm looking for pass blockers who are really good, so the ability to have an A in the pass blocking ratings, or balanced. So there's nothing really spectacular with most of these guys. The best pass blockers I found are centers, which is strange, but the guy I do want to highlight is Deshaun Jones, and he's going to be one of our focus scouts, as he is 6'5", or focus scouting players. He's 6'5", 322, 23 years old, out of North Dakota State. He has a good motor, and he doesn't get flagged. Exactly what you need for an offensive lineman. He's not extremely athletic. He has some good agility, but it's primarily his strength. As for his skill set, it looks like it could be very well balanced, which is something we don't really have on roster. So I think he would be a good guy who you could plug and play at any of the offensive lineman spots. Over on the defensive line, at left end, we have a couple outside rushers that basically I'm looking for either someone that does one thing extremely well or can do a couple things at average level. So Isaiah McDaniels has a possibility of having A, finesse moves. Keenan Dillard having both B, power moves and finesse moves. It might just be a B power move, so he would probably fall down the board a good bit. We'd pick him up maybe as an open free agent guy, or an undrafted free agent guy. But that's kind of what I'm looking for. But there is one D lineman I definitely want to note, and that is Cecil Kelly. He's also going to be one of our focus scouts for this week, as he is a big boy, 353, 21 years old out of Texas. He's also 6'1", and he is a physical guy who delivers bone-crushing hits, utilizes power moves, so even though he's a run-stopper archetype, we know that there is a power rush ability. He has a good motor, rips the ball away from runners, and he shows good discipline, so won't get flagged. Exactly what you should have with a DT. His physicals are exactly, again, what you would expect for a guy who's 353 pounds, not a lot of athleticism, but has a lot of strength. And that's, again, something we're looking for in the middle. That's kind of why we brought in McCall. But Kelly here has A play rec, B awareness. As a day 3 guy, that is fantastic. Also has A impact blocking. Stamina is an F, again, what you would imagine. And I don't see him necessarily being a 3-3-5 interior guy for us, with the fact he doesn't have much speed or acceleration. But he has the ability to have A to C power moves with B to D block shedding and does have C finesse. So he could be a very versatile guy, again, something we don't have on the defensive line. The outside linebackers are one of two things: an edge rush or a pass cover guy. I'm not looking for any sort of run stopper, so you have to show me that you're really good at one of those things. None of the edge rushers really stand out to me. And when it comes to pass cover guys at linebacker and the outside, you really have to find the A rating, because the B doesn't really mean much for the outside. Michael Sutherland here out of Stanford has A to C zone coverage, which is why he's on the board. Same down here for Steven Peters out of Notre Dame, A to C zone coverage. Now, middle linebacker is different. A B here for zone coverage could mean the same as an A rating for the outside linebackers, who are typically more rating focused towards edge rush. That's why the edge rushers always win best linebacker. It's because it's just best pass rusher. It's annoying, but it's the thing. So B for a middle linebacker is either the same or better than the A rating for the outside linebacker. So that is why we have Akeem Knighton and Cortland Bullock here. Bullock, we don't know for sure if he has the B, but he has the potential to have it. Akeem Knighton would also have to possibly be our first pick in the draft. And speaking of first picks in the drafts, there are two outside linebackers I do want to highlight, because they do have that A rating in the coverage. And we really need to improve the linebacker coverage ratings. I think the highest on the team currently is a 64. So let's start with Mark Walton. He is 6'2", 230, 22 years old out of NC State. A lot of player notes, you could read them. Basically just know, dude goes hard. As for the physical attributes, he is an athlete through and through. And that fits very well with the style of linebackers we've already brought in. We have a lot of speed and agility at linebacker. Mark Walton would be coming in with A awareness, A man coverage, and A zone coverage. Plus B play rec. I think he would be an amazing linebacker for us and would be a key building block of this defense to go alongside Shaka Toney. He also has C block shedding, so unlike most pass cover guys who have next to no block shedding, he at least has something. Because we know all of his main linebacker ratings, he's not going to be a focus scout for us. The other linebacker, Matt Harrison, is going to be. Harrison is 6'1", 231, 22 years old out of Notre Dame. So both these linebackers basically the same build. And both have a lot of player notes. Again, you could pause and read if you want. The physicals, basically the same, athlete through and through. A little less speed, a little less strength here with Harrison. Now, he will be the focus player because we don't have the for sure ratings for some of the key linebacker ratings. Mostly talking about the awareness, the man coverage, and the play rec. We know it's a step down from the previous linebacker we looked at because play rec can be as high as a C. I want to say Walton was a B, so we know that's going to be lower. Man coverage could be the same. It could be lower. We don't know. Awareness could be the same. Could be lower. Block shedding is exactly what normally happens with the cover guys. It's an F. So Walton is definitely the better of the two, But if Walton goes earlier in the draft, we know we can still rely on having Harrison. Both of these guys could very potentially be a first pick in this series. As for the DB group, no one in particular stood out. Just try to find guys with the potential of having B, zone, and press. I did put Brian Barrow on here because we know at least the zone is a C. These other guys, it could be a D. So I wanted to have at least one guy on the board that's a potential to bring in. The safeties, same thing. Just try to find some B cover ratings because that's really what we're focusing on with the secondary is coverage. So we brought in who looks like they could be the best with the range we're allowed to pick in. As for our favorites, we have a total of 60 on the board. That might dwindle as we go along, but that is what we look like here. But now it's time to jump into the game against the Texans and try to add another win in our column and hopefully not lose out on having a higher overall draft pick, even though we're still not picking to the 4th round. Either way, let's jump into it. And let's get this battle underway. Matt Guinness kicks us off, and week 11 is underway against the Houston Texans. They come out in the red, white, and blue, and we come out with the maroon helmet. Actually, do the Commanders call it maroon? I don't even know if they call it maroon or not. It looks maroon to me. But I guess they might call it, I don't know, like a burgundy or something? Burgundy and gold? Maybe that sounds a little bit more familiar. But doesn't matter. 1st and 10. Gonna be a pass here to the outside with a wide open receiver, and we will bring him out. Escorting him out is Trill Williams. Be a catch. A catch for a 1st down there by Cooks. We'll come out following that up under center with a bunch to the left-hand side. And did Shaka Toney or the offensive lineman move first? And it was on the offense. They'll back him up. That's just the power of Shaka Toney on this team, getting the offensive lineman antsy. As we're going to send them heavy blitz, they pick it up very well, and Brandon Cooks with a 2nd catch and a 2nd 1st down. And this team obviously has to live up to what was a tremendous game last episode. Really came out and shut down an Eagles team. Pierce will get to the outside here, gain of 5. But obviously that win last week could have just been a trap game. The Eagles very much overlooking us and surprise them a little bit. Let's go with the outside pass here. Caught for the 1st down. Heineke 3 of 3 on the day. And I also just realized we are playing against Heineke, the former quarterback here of the Commanders before we obviously had to release everyone. Pierce with some running room, but Belial, he's been so good in the run game for us. That's only when he comes in his run situations, and he continues to make good plays like he does here. And after that stuff of a run, they'll go to the shotgun with 2 receivers stacked to the left-hand side, go with another running back run here, and that'll be a little bit more space, 6 more yards of it. And on 3rd and 4, they'll come out empty, 2 to the right, 3 to the left. That's how that works with an empty set. And Heineke looking to scramble here. Reed gonna come up and gets juked out of his shoes. Shaka Toney will bring down Heineke, but after the 1st down gained. Now, this is kind of what you can expect after such a big win the next week against a much smaller opponent. Not playing as well as Belial very much overran that play, and Heineke scrambles for not another 1st down. Apparently slid down inches prior to the line to gain. 2nd and inches ago with a pass. Stevens trying to get back there to Heineke, but way too late. And that will be another 1st down to the 10. But do they have like an inch or so before the goal? It would appear so they could still get another 1st down prior to, well, turning the ball over on downs. They go with a quick pass. They don't need it. That'll be a touchdown for the Texans, hooking up with Brandon Cooks. He's been a main target of them on this 1st drive. And that was a very good 1st drive. And that just means it's time for our offense to respond. We got to answer back here, tied this game back up. You know we're going to do that behind a heavy run game with Borghi down the middle, gain of 5. And I've heard some calls for Jake Cohn to come back out. And it's definitely possible that he'll come out. Luton has played decently well, I would say, as we get another short gain here, making it 3rd and 3. But after a big win, unless Luton plays bad, I don't want to make a quarterback change. The only time we really do is when we bring out Tyree Jackson to try to set up some read option play, and it's working very well here as we get to the outside, trying to get away from number 25, who has some wheels on him. But we'll get the first down. So as for now, not going to make a big change. We might still rotate Cone in a little bit, especially if Luton is throwing some interceptions. If he's throwing touchdowns, I'm not taking him out. But Huntley checks in on the previous play, gets a gain of 4. He'll stay in here as we're out in a heavy look. All of our tight ends out. Try to find some running room through a defender. We'll get the first down, shoving off number 20. And he'll get about 7 yards on it. And we'll follow up that first down by going spread here. 3 to the right, 1 to the left. We're going to set up the running back draw here. Borgie checks back in. And we'll get forward for another 6. Actually, no, gain of 4. We'll leave it at 2nd and 6. One thing I do have to say about Borgie is that he's always going forward. So he always will manage to get a couple more yards than he probably should have, as we're going to set up the the receiver screen here. Cade Johnson will get the first down barely. And that'll send us on through the first quarter into the second quarter, where we're still looking to tie this game up. And as per the game plan, has been primarily running the ball, but I would love to see if we could get Smart down the seam here. He's been able to get open a few times of recent, but not much here. Gonna try to step up with Luton, but just couldn't find the space. Will end up being a sack, loss of 3. And on 2nd and long, I haven't ran too many halfback screens. Let's try to see if we could set that up here on the Texans. Have at least one lead blocker. Not a whole lot there, but we'll gain at least the yards we lost in the previous play. So 3rd and 10, they come out with a double A gap look. Might get Smart down the seam, going to depend what that safety over the top does. And he gives us the inside with a nice throw, but Smart can't hold on to it. Probably have to send out the field goal team here. This will be a long one, about a 53-yarder, I believe, as this one is up, looking down the middle with plenty of power behind it. Will at least get on the board, but the Texans still lead 7-3. Now we just need to see this defense step it back up. That first drive was not very good. Coming off a big win, maybe they think a little bit too highly of themselves, as they stopped at, I think, 89 overall offense for the Eagles. But now facing a 79 offense, I believe, they've already given up about just as many points. So need to see some improvement as this game goes along. And there's 2 good stuffs. Only a gain of overall 3 yards on 2 plays. Much better. Now on 3rd and 7, we just have to finish up here. Get off the field as they go with some deep routes. Heineke going to step up and slide down. Gemmel was in front of him. And they'll send out the punting team. So let's watch this one. Flowers has had some pretty good returns since we brought him in, was it 2 episodes ago? So we'll see what he can do here on the punt. Can we get some decent blocks? Not really. Gonna try to scoot out to the right. We'll get what he can. And to start this drive, looking to take the lead. Come out with Tyree Jackson in the motion over Smart. Gonna run some read option. We'll hand this one off down the middle. Probably should have kept that, as it looked like the outside linebacker came crashing in. But on 2nd and 9, we'll switch over to a different spread look here, bring Luton back out, as we should have a guy across the middle, and I'm not sure who it was, on the left side. The receiver was making his break. As soon as we got hit, the ball came out awkwardly. And that's just one of the things we're trying to improve with this team when it comes to the draft, trying to find some better pass blocking guys, because we don't really have very many of those, as we're going to go atop, and that is a nice throw by Luton. And that's why he's out there. Got just over the top of the underneath linebacker, found Williams for the first down. Now, of course, it did take a pretty good shot on that play. So bring out Tyree Jackson here, run some more read option, or actually triple option, pitch this one out late, try to get Borgie around the edge, which he does, beating the safety. That'll be a nice gain of about 20-something yards to the 40. You know, he doesn't have the burners, but he could get around the corner. He's really a versatile running back for us. He even catches the ball a little bit, but we'll bring Calais out here. We saw Avery Williams get the ball a little bit last episode, so we'll see what Calais can do with his chances. I think it's always a good opportunity to have a rotation of guys, kind of keep the defense a little bit off kilter with what you're trying to do, as there's nothing here. Luton trying to step up, has Stoner who can't hold on to it. Good job there from the corner. But honestly, really good play there from Luton, and that's why he's out there. Go back to Calais here, who doesn't really have the block he needs, but will still manage to get 4. And on 3rd and 6, we'll come out with the pistol. 2 receivers either side. Have some slant routes that they read really well. Luton trying to step up, but just got swallowed up. Hughes around the edge. We'll have to send out the field goal unit again. This one a 51-yarder. Would still leave us down 1 point. Snap is back, kick is up. Down the middle we go again. Bring this thing a little bit closer. So we've seen some improvement from the defense over the course of the game. Offense, consistently okay. As a cutback here from Pierce, we'll actually find a little bit of space, about a gain of 3. And that run will send us through the 2-minute warning. So 2 minutes to halftime. See if the Texans can add some more points before half, or if we can. Hopefully that'll be us as they go with this dump off here. Pierce almost got away. Did break 1 tackle, but we cleaned it up. And now 3rd and 3, gonna bring that double A gap blitz. Trying to get Tony clean off the edge, which we do. We'll lay a hit there on Heineke. And did we get that stop in time? We do. The refs give it to us. Number 21, Yeast. He gets the stop. Now that leaves us with about 50 seconds on the clock. We have all 3 of our timeouts to try to get down the field. And nothing's really opening up here. Try to throw this towards the sideline, and not a catch. Definitely didn't get that second foot down in time, plus a flag. And that's really not going to help either. So, overall, really bad play. 1st and 20. Back at the 12, 45 seconds left for us to try to get something. How about across the middle? We had Cade Johnson, but there was an inaccurate pass. Still needing to get about 50, maybe 60 yards to get us at least into field goal range. Toss this one to the outside, and another inaccurate pass. So we're seeing some really good play from Luton, and we're seeing some pretty bad play from Luton. We get a nice release to the outside. Jones on the money with the catch, calling our first timeout. And that's exactly what I was just saying. We've seen the good, we've seen the bad from Luton. Maybe we'll see a little bit of Cone in the second half. But as of right now, we need to finish off this drive and get some points on the board. Try to see if we can get Smart down the seam once again, although it looks like they cover that pretty well, and we had Stoner open, headed towards the corner. But once again, the line just doesn't hold up as they come out here with a double A gap blitz. I want to run at it, see if we could get lucky and get through it. And that ball comes out. I am pretty sure we were down. But we can't challenge it inside 2 minutes. It'll have to come down from the booth. And luckily, the booth says, hold up, wait a minute. It's not a fumble. That's what I'm hoping they're saying, at least. Take a second look here. And yeah, Calais was definitely down. We should get this one back at about midfield. And since it was a run that we fumbled on, we ended up calling a timeout. So 26 seconds, 3rd and 12. We have 1 more timeout remaining. We brought Jones into the slot as we try to get him down the seam here. Trying to get a one-on-one situation. Ends up becoming a 2-on-1, and they cover that very well. That leaves us 4th and 12. I want an in route here at the line to gain here from Stoner. Johnson can swing underneath. 2 deep routes, 1 comeback. Williams on the outside. That all looks good to me. We might be going for that comeback. Williams read very well, and instead of trying to get this thing either swung our way before half, it'll be widened the Texans' way. Pick 6. Maybe we'll see some of Cone's second half. Well, it hasn't been a very clean first half. You'll see 2 takeaways there. We did try to chuck the ball deep with Tyree Jackson. He threw another interception before half. They didn't end up returning it, so we're heading on in as we take a look around the league. Eagles, who we just beat, taking on the Colts, who beat us. Close game, 21-20, 10 seconds left before half there. With Hurts, 2 touchdowns. Matt Ryan, none. Now on to the second game. To the east side we go. Carolina taking on the Ravens. 21-7 in favor of Baltimore with 31 seconds left before half there. Only 1 touchdown for at least passing for Lamar Jackson, but he's 100% completion percentage. As we look a little bit north, the Lions really taking it to the Giants right now, 24-10 at half. But back to our game, we will luckily be starting the second half with possession. So let's try to get this ball into the end zone. Flowers, let's not return this one. We'll take it at the 25. And there he is. Cone is in after some really up and down performance in the first half from Luton. We'll see if Cone can improve on that as we get down the middle here. Gain of 4 by Borghi. 2nd and 6, sticking with that same formation, but let's go with a play action rollout here. Try to see if we can find someone. How about Muse wide open? A very accurate pass as we try to get to the outside and almost do, but a nice tackle there by, I believe it's Petrie. Brings down Muse as we get up to the 45, and my phone goes bing bong. But one thing we've learned with this team, even when we're passing well, let's not focus on it too much, because that is when we start throwing interceptions. That's what happened in the first half. Let's get back to the run game here, because a consistent gain of 4 means you're going to get a first down. So let's stick to it. Hand the ball off to Borghi and let him rumble and stumble. Follow behind some of these big boys up front and just keep it going. But of course, we'll still see that rotation as Luton is back out there, because I didn't change the actual depth chart at quarterback, just the formation. And what a play there from number 2. Thomas comes flying over, hopping over a lineman to get the tackle. We still get the first down though, but cool tackle. And there we go. Now I got Cone out there. Still did the same thing, just changed it in the formation. Let's see what we can get here. How about Smart over the top, dropping it right on in, and he holds on to it this time. Smart back into the end zone. And do we go for 2 here? With that, it would tie the game up, so we're definitely going for 2, but a nice pass here from Cone. So those who are wanting him back out there you go. Now for the 2-point conversion. We're going to bring out Jackson here. Maybe have Smart leaking back across. Maybe Clinic underneath. We have a couple different options here. Also, we could scramble with Jackson. He has that ability as well. But how about Smart trying to make it a twofer? But no, that ball way underthrown. We're still behind in this game. All right, defense, it's your time to shine here. Let's make some big plays, force some turnovers. Something we've struggled with doing this entire series is forcing those turnovers, but there's a nice stop on first down, loss of 3. I believe that was Potoe? One of these days I'm going to remember how to pronounce it. I'm pretty sure it's Potoe. Either way, he made the big stop there in the backfield, loss of 3 for 2nd and 13. Hard count, no one jumps. They go with another handoff down the middle. Gemmel with the stop, gain of 2. And now on 3rd and 11, bunch to the right. Heineke making an audible or maybe a hot route, as they're going to send everyone over to one side, trying to leak out, but no, Shakatoni is there. We'll bring down Heineke. Loss of about 8, maybe 7? It doesn't matter. It's a loss. They got a punt. Well, let's keep this thing rolling. All momentum on the Commanders' side here, the second half. Hand this one off to Borghi. Try to get down the middle. I thought we were going to get a block there on that linebacker. Ended up not, so we ran through him a little bit. Gain of 6. 2nd and 4. Let's go with a rollout to the left-hand side. Maybe Kalinick off the quick dump off. Kind of. I mean, we get it to him. Kind of wish we didn't, because it's going to be a loss of yards on the down. But, So on 3rd and 8, we'll go spread here. Maybe looking for Jones on the zig route. See if he could get that open to the outside. And just over the top of the defender, gonna break away from one of them, but a quick recovery there from Nelson. 4 for 4 so far from Cone, 68 yards and a touchdown. And with that fresh set of downs, back to the run game. Try to find somewhere to go, and Calais will manage to get 4. Hightower with the stop. And if we could just find a nice blend of run and then playing some pass off the run, I think we'll be pretty solid. Underneath we go. Jones with a nice catch and tight coverage. A flag is down, however. And after that big hit, or late hit I should say, we'll check Tyree Jackson in here. Go with that read option pass thingy-majig that we do here in this formation. Gonna roll out. We have a couple guys underneath. Can we turn them into blockers? Yes, we can. Finally cut through, and what a run from Tyree Jackson into the end zone as we finally take a lead in this game. That is how you use your blockers. As we go up 18-14, do we go for 2 or do we just kick the field goal or extra point? I don't really think it would matter with the 2. And while the defense definitely gave us a lot of time to finally take the lead, we're now going to have to ask them to hold on to it, as it looks like they're going to be trying to air out this ball, but Heineke going to scramble, going to make our guys miss an open field. How many times has he juked one of our guys out? 3, maybe 4? It's one thing if you're a running back or a receiver doing it, but quarterback's doing it consistently, and I wouldn't necessarily list Heineke as a run threat. He can scramble for sure, but not his main thing. Good stop there on the outside for Stevens. Be a loss of 1. Pierce hasn't really been able to get going consistently today. He's had a couple good runs, though, as that's going to be a wide open tight end who we miss again and trucks a defender. Luckily, Trill Williams will come over to bring him down. And that'll also end the 3rd quarter, so we'll head into the 4th. A close game. And on 3rd and 2, a bunch to the right. We're going to come out the double A-gap blitz, which they pick up very well and find an open Brandon Cooks. Haven't seen him much since the 1st quarter. He's been locked down pretty well by A.J. Parker since, but hopefully we could go back to locking him up because I don't want him ruining the 4th quarter for us. Granted, I do think we were down in press coverage on that play, and we don't have a whole lot of good press corners out there. So we need to be cautious of that, as a nice job there from the tight ends who really stretches for it. Is it O.J. Howard? Do the Texans? Yeah, the Texans have O.J. Howard. Interesting. I do not remember if that's a real life thing or if that's just the game. It doesn't matter here. 1st and 10, they go the stretch to the outside. We have a couple guys there, but Trill Williams just bounces off of him. It'll be a short gain. And down to the 26 they go. 6.5 minutes on the clock. They're down 5. Heineke looking to scramble, but is swallowed up by Benito Jones. No, not Benito Jones. My bad. McCall with the sack. Will be 3rd and 11. That's just normally the spot that Benito Jones plays when we're in the 3-3-5, which I feel like we're always in. But the Texans have been running some more base package looks, as that almost was a great catch by Callaway. And goes down as the 1st incompletion of the night for Heineke. He's been really solid. And he's a potential guy we could bring back to the squad next season, depending on how he regresses, as they hit the field goal, making this a 2-point game. And it looks like the Texans are trying to get aggressive here, bringing down the safety. Well, you know we're going to be running the ball here, trying to find a cutback lane. Borgie with a great run down the middle, about 9.5 yards. And of course, you know, we're going to be chewing the clock. We're up 2. We're trying to play smart here. Try to follow some blocks. We ended up not really getting the lead block. Our pulling guard just kept going to the outside, but we get the 1st down. That's what matters. And we'll drop back to the shotgun look here. They did bring down their safety as we try to run the read option here. Makes me a little bit worried, but we'll go with it. Jackson with plenty of room to the outside. He jukes, going to lose a little bit of time there, but he could head down the sideline with a lot of rushing room there, about 15 yards. He just keeps finding ways to get us some chunk plays here and there. We're going to stick with the same formation, go with the pass play. Try to see if we can get smart to the outside, which we kind of do. Let him just enough as he gets down the sideline, past the running, or not the running back, the linebacker, which is kind of the running back of the defense. But a big chunk play as we get down to the 10. And there's no better way to really put a stamper on a game besides running the clock out than adding some more points on. Huntley checks in as we try to follow behind some of our blockers, get us down to the 7. So we've actually played all 3 quarterbacks today, and from what we've seen, Luton has probably had the better day in terms of the strict passing, not scrambling kind of game. And after a delay game, because I try to set up my own play, 3rd and goal. Cone back out there as we're going to run 2 receivers either side. Going to have to roll around, try to find something. Cut it back towards the inside. The space disappears, but he fights through and into the end zone. Cone fans are celebrating today as he's coming storming back after losing his starting spot a couple weeks ago. Just check out this run through 4 defenders, carrying one into the end zone, widening our lead, and hopefully putting a stamper on this game. That now puts the Texans down by 9 with 2 minutes, 11 seconds left. They have all 3 timeouts, but they need a touchdown and a field goal to get themselves back up in this game, and short little dumps off probably aren't going to help very well. And now just 2 minutes left as we hit the 2-minute warning. I would expect start going with some deeper routes here, but no, they're still going to go with the dump off. O.J. Howard with another catch, and I feel like he's been the primary target when we've been able to stop Brandon Cooks, which hasn't been always. As they go across the middle, there's a swat by, I believe that was Allen. I always get confused with the rotation of linebackers that we have, because we have some that only play in the 46 and 52, and then a certain group that only plays in the nickel. The fun part of when you're doing a replacement squad and pretty much players are only good at doing one specific thing. To the outside, A.J. Parker swats that one away. 4th and game here as we're up 9. Texans at the 45, 4th and 7. They'll go with some deeper routes. They didn't have to. They toss this one to the outside. Trill Williams in coverage, can't knock it away. What a grab. Who is number 8? Because that was an amazing play. They go back to the outside. O.J. Howard with the catch, trying to stretch for it, about a yard shy. I'll run some hurry up here, and I did not like the play we selected, and a wide open number 8 to the outside. Fitting he gets the score. Now tell me who it is. And that was the rookie John Mechie III. Only a 74 overall, but that was a heck of a grab that got him down there, and then finished it off with the wide open touchdown. And of course, they're going to go with the onside kick down to Stoner. Get the grab here for us. Or not, it wasn't kicked to you. Instead, Jones is going to kick it himself, scoop it up, and we recover. 2 timeouts left. Won't be enough. This game is over. And there was some definite drama in that game, but it's nice to see this team be able to fight through that, improve, bounce back, and still end up with the victory. 26-24, leading in all categories besides turnovers. That's been a huge problem this year. It's a big problem on the channel as well. And that was one heck of a game. Like I said, the battle to come through all of the shenanigans that popped up towards the middle. Cone really came in, and he was impressive. So let me know in the comment section down below who should start next game. Should we start Luton? Should we start Cone? Tyree Jackson is never going to be the starting quarterback. He's strictly a situational player for us. When we want to have him come in, he'll throw a few passes here and there, but primarily he's a part of our running game, really. So Cone or Luton, let me know down below as to who you want to start, or if you just want to continually see a rotation at that quarterback spot. That also works. Just let me know down below, as the next game will be against the Falcons. And throwing back to the beginning of this video, let me know what you guys thought about the scouts or the scouting prospects as well. Who do you think we should go after first? Should we go after the quarterback or maybe one of the outside linebackers? Always a possibility, and I'd like to hear what you guys think about that. But until next time, make sure you guys are hitting that subscription button if you haven't already. It's just across from me, my little bear icon over there. Go ahead and tap on it. And if you're not, and if you're already subscribed, make sure you're also hitting that bell icon to be notified of when my videos go live. 4 videos a week, 2 of this series posted every Monday and Thursday, and then the state-only challenge posted every Wednesday and Saturday. So a lot of content coming per week, so make sure you guys stick around for it. And until next time, we'll see you guys later. Bye.